Ever.
All right, well, it's time for Top Blokes versus Endpoint. We've had a bunch of upsets here today, but Yummy and CJ, let's see if we've got another one. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Johnny Boy. I'm excited to be casting with Johnny Boy at some point in this tournament too. It's been a long time. We've already seen the classic upside down. CJ, I need your thoughts on that.
You know, it was a good meme, but then they couldn't find the spectate button to get back into the match. So who's the real winner here? Anyway, Top Blokes going up against Endpoint, Group B again, Yummy. Firstly, welcome to the world. You've just woken up. How was your sleep? Flame nearly hits a banger.
Well, I'm exactly like you. I've actually been changing my sleep schedule too, so I'm only up an hour or two early. You know, I've been getting up at 6:30 a.m. just for the fun of it. So we're pretty good here. We're chilling as we watch these guys play. Now, for me as well, CJ, this is all about Endpoint for me. They've got to really prove themselves here. They haven't had a chance to prove themselves in RLCS because they just lose first round every time. In the double elim. Doesn't help. You know what that's like. Now, and against Top Blokes, they've got a decent record. They've been going about 50-50. I think it's a 4-5 record unless you count the field. Virtuoso getting off to a good start. Against the other teams in the group, they've gone miserably. They haven't even ever beat Vitality.
I mean, Top Blokes, though, they're the, you know, the Winter Regional 2 champions are Yummy as well. They're on a winning streak. But I agree with you. Endpoint is a team that I'm going to be looking out for, particularly because Metanoris will be on my team in the crew battles later. I need to see if he's warmed up as a kickoff goal goes in there for Archie.
All right, Archie, you may as well call him Archer with that accuracy. Bullseye on the net. Nice to see him get off straight to a good start.
If we can get a Twitch poll, thanks, to remove Yummy from this cast, I'm sure we can just get Johnny in here or something, because this has got to be a long series with jokes like that.
What do you mean? Come on, laugh for a little bit. I'm funny, please.
No.
I need a little bit of self-esteem here, CJ.
I'm going to give you absolutely none. Anyway, we do have a series. Best of 7, Group B. This is the final match of the round 1. I guess you could say of the groups. We saw an upset, obviously, if you only just tuned in, Dignitas 4-0 BDS, which was just unheard of here as Archie does clear that one. But final match here. We haven't seen these two before. Top Blokes Endpoint making their Rocket League Summit debuts as a team, because obviously they weren't there last time. Did any player play in the... Well, no, I don't think they did last time in the first Rocket League Summit.
Maybe if TSM were invited, then Metanoris may have been there. I can't remember if they were, so...
No way.
I was there on Team Reciprocity, or was a frontline at the time, so... should know, but, you know, it's hard to tell at this time of the morning. And Casio getting the second goal for Top Blokes, and starts to get a little bit worrying for Endpoint.
Yeah, look, it's when you really work hard to score a goal, and then you can see the kick-off goal straight off the bat, and then another freebie, bit of an open net, lack of rotation there, the third man getting caught out. I mean, that is frustrating. I know, you know, my teammates in particular, when I just give up free goals like that, they really do get annoyed. So, you know, it's about the mental game now for Endpoint, see if they can come back into this game number 1.
I mean, there's a difference between these goals and the ones you give, CJ. They're straight own goals. Turbo, I think you actually make Turbo look like he doesn't own goal very much. You know,
I'm happy to be OCE Turbo. I love him.
Well, the difference is Turbo does win, and Top Blokes have been winning as well lately. So, should be able to keep up this pressure. Nice play off the backboard. As Top Blokes do want to get something going, but it's been turned around by Endpoint.
We have been told by 30, our beautiful observer, that Rams would have been there last time, obviously on the bricks at Summit. So there is a bit of flavour there from the last Summit. They aren't all newbies.
Very nice. I'm sure he's telling them all the strats on how to win Summit. You know, like there's that extra pressure, or actually there is that lack of pressure that, you know, maybe some way to get off. Maybe also Rams going around and chatting with Speed again.
Look, it was an interesting time the last Summit, but with a minute 30 left in this game and Top Blokes are up by a goal, it's going to be a great start for these guys. And as the clear favourites, I'd say, you know, they're the Winter Regional 2 champs, and they also won a grid like once. So I mean, they're looking pretty good. They're a consistent sort of, you know, top 4 team around the region. I know you're saying that they do struggle against certain matchups, but I'm all for them. I'm all for the top bloke, as Smellsworth would say.
Yeah, just one bloke is top, apparently, according to you. And very interestingly enough, in that RLCS, we saw a change-up that maybe beckons the new era of top blokes, where it wasn't just the Archie show. You know, Cassio actually stepped up huge. He had a greater than 50% shot accuracy in that grand final. Scored so many goals. I think it was over 1.5 goals per game in that grand final. And, you know, I think it really showed that as a full team, as a 3-man roster, they could do so much more. They don't have to rely on one player. And I think that is important for having much more consistent results.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I know Twitch chat can probably agree. Is this another open net coming up here? Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Flame puts it in. Metsonoris gets caught out as well. And with 2-goal lead, I mean, this is just a rough start all round for Endpoint, your team.
Wave, this is how you go out first round in a double elim. It's not what you want to do. This has been the problem with Endpoint. Their offense is great. You know, you've got Vert really, you know, cutting in, very aggressive. But the problem is the defense has been falling short for Endpoint, and that's kind of up for, you know, Metsonoris. He's known as Metso Risk for a reason. He doesn't really go forward, but he needs to hold that defense down.
Almost a little bit of a momentum shifter in the 0-second goal there. Doesn't come away. Top blokes do take out game number 1. And you mentioned those demos, Yummy. Where are they? That's what I'm asking you. You're talking about this offense. We're all looking. I know Twitch chat, they just go endpoint equals demos, which might be partially true.
They're not sorry, Vert equals demos, right? Vert equals the entire offense, you know, and I think that's what we're missing in that one. We didn't see quite that much aggression from Virtuoso. He wasn't as in their face. And he normally gets a lot of demos from the fact that he'll cut forward for the ball and then be right in front of their net or anything and go for the demos there. But he wasn't even really given the chance to be aggressive by top blokes. You know, they kept it more in the midfield.
And I guess on the other side as well, did top blokes really have to do anything that game? I mean, like, I feel like we could pick up 3 blokes from Twitch chat and they would have just handed them 3 goals that game because there was kickoff goals, open nets galore. I feel like their positioning just wasn't quite there from Endpoint game number 1. You know, did they just wake up? There's so many questions I have to ask. What current time is it in Europe? I'm not sure. But game number 1, you know, the only way is up there from Endpoint because not only did they have no attack, they also had no defense. So if you're looking for something to improve on, it's everything. So, you know, in that sort of facet, they don't have to worry about, you know, what they did wrong because they didn't do much right.
I guess that's your take on it, but yeah, it's the top blokes versus 3 blokes at the moment, and you know, in terms of blokiness, these are the 2 teams with you know, the UK players. So it is a bit of a, well, it's not actually, is it now with Metsonoris the other team, but you know, it is like that sort of UK pride coming in, the blokey pride, but Endpoint. Like, I like their attack. Their attack is really creative most of the time. They've got like epic passes. They really trust each other as well. Especially Vert. He's just always confident, and that's usually key in Rocket League. Just be confident in your teammates. Be able to follow each other up. And oh no.
So what happens here? Virtuoso hits it to the moon. Archie gets a lovely little flip reset backboard double, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off game number 2. But Endpoint defense is not quite there yet.
Listen, it just takes some time to warm up some defense. You know how it is. Hitting the ball can be difficult, CJ.
Yes.
Top blokes, though, they're going to be pretty comfortable. And again, they're not having to try too hard, but at least in that play, Archie did some good work for that goal. It's the double, and it ensures that top blokes are at least looking good. They do have a lot of bracket to go. It's the beginning of the Summit 2 tournament. And yeah, there'll be the rest of the groups tomorrow, and then a very long day, assumedly for top blokes if they're going to do a long run. And us another one where the endpoint net has been abandoned. I haven't seen a net abandoned or anything abandoned that hard since my childhood.
Look,
It brings back bad memories, okay? Endpoint, please.
I'm so sorry,
Please.
Yummy.
I just want a
so
Christmas
sorry you went through-
present.
I'm so sorry you went through that, but I mean, it is rough, and you know we spoke about it after game number 1, and it was all game number 1, just open nets galore, and right now they're not fixing it. Cassio looking for the double, doesn't quite get it here, and Vert misses the ball, but that might help. I mean, a miss sometimes really throws off the opposition, and that's what he's done there. He's gained a bit of field control, but the ball is just flying relentlessly, Yummy, towards the net of Endpoint.
Yeah,
And
I
it
mean,
is,
their 50s
open.
have just not worked out for them, and you can kind of see that Relating Wave was pushing so hard as third man, they thought that they were on attack, and then all of a sudden it's over the top of his head. And anytime that happens, you know, you spend so much more time in defense. You can't hit the ball forward when it's behind you. And that makes it easier for top blokes to keep their pressure. That's what they like. Especially for Flame and Cassio, who are on the old Veloce team. I know a favorite of yours. They just love to keep people pinned in.
Absolutely love Veloce, and I mean, this is just such a. It looks like a different class right now. I mean, top blokes are just toying with them at the moment here. As then Virtuoso jumps in a net. Cassio could have absolutely smoked that one into the top corner, but right now they're doing a crossbar bouncer simulator, and it's not quite going in. But just so in control, even getting back for the counter attack there. Top blokes looking so good right now.
Yeah, and it's another situation right there where Endpoint have to be rushing back. They're playing so aggressive, but not getting the goals for it. And Flame will just shut down 2 players that's in front of net. And Archie just finishes it off.
I mean, this is a problem with Endpoint, Yummy. You see them get a clear and they're thinking, yippity-doodah, we're finally out of defense. But then it just gets fired straight back in from Flame. Wins a 1-on-2 in midfield, and it's an open net again. They're just so desperate to get out of defense that when they finally get out, they just rush forward and then get counter-attacked. As this might be it again. Kick-off goal. No, Vert does get back.
This is domination at a half. Oh, that was close to going in as well. It doesn't even matter, it seems, if the endpoint players are in net. It's not just when they're getting rushed back and counter-attacked. It's at any point in time, the top blokes trying to score these goals, and they don't even need any more.
I mean, it really is just Camp Net Simulator at the moment for Endpoint, and they're trying so hard to get out, but right now, Top Blokes are looking really good. I mean, I spoke about it in the first game where Top Blokes didn't really have to do anything. This series, they've done a lot. Oh, sorry, this game number 2 in particular, I mean, their pressure has been absolutely enormous. There is so much heat on the Endpoint net right now, it is ridiculous. I mean, full
I love the flame pun right there. See, you're getting in on it.
No, that was unintentional.
Hey, I'm going to count it. You know, you can't make fun of me for everything. And Virtuoso will find their goal. And it's off a great pass coming infield from Mets.
Yeah, great pass from Archie as well. They're just tapping the ball straight to Mets. And, I mean, left flat-footed in net. Not too much the defense could do after that sort of turnover. But, I mean, that's what they've got to do right now. Endpoint, they're getting sort of one chance on net, and then it's straight back down the other end. So they've got to make the most of it, Yummy, and really capitalise, because they're not winning this pressure battle.
Yeah, I mean, a minute to go. This is the chance here, but that's a huge save from Archie. He's keeping Top Blokes well in the lead, and with 50 seconds remaining, those are the kind of saves that we expect from Archie, given that first RLCS run that they made where he really popped up.
Yeah, he's a superstar, absolute superstar, and as you said, when he's not the only one firing, but it doesn't really matter sometimes if he is the only one performing, because he's an absolute freak and gets solo goals like this. I mean, making the most of a demo, and look how fast he is to turn on there. I mean, that is, you know, I could probably defend it, to be honest. You know, it wouldn't be too hard for me, but for these guys, it's going to be tough.
So what's it feel like to, if you're able to defend that, what's it like to have a 15-year-old like Archie already be way more successful than you?
No, it feels great. Anyway, this one nearly goes in. Relating Wave does clear it. Metsonoris, I mean, that's right there is what I'm talking about. Just not quite in touch there. Relating Wave just touching it around Metza. I mean, and straight down the other end. This could be another goal, but love a little block there from Metza. I mean, right now, Top Blokes 4-1 up. Going to go 2-0 up in this series. Looking seriously in control, and I can't really see where Endpoint get back in here.
No, I can't see it either. You know, they're It's not the way that they're losing now isn't just that game one where they were struggling to just have people in the net for whatever reason. This was a domination by Top Blokes, controlling of the play, taking that second game, and just showing why they are currently, I guess, the top team, having just won the last regional, and also with BDS getting 4-0'd at the start of the day.
Look, 746 points as well from Archie. I mean, if I'm Flame right now, sitting sub 200, I'm probably thinking, how much use do I have on this team? That's rough.
No,
Archie,
I know this experience from having Shaw set on a team. It's not, oh, I'm useless. It's like, yes, go Archie. Just do everything. Go Shaw set, Keep doing everything possible. I'll just sit back here and relax.
He's an absolute freak. And look, to professionally analyze, if I'm an endpoint coach, let's just don't laugh. All right. If I'm an endpoint
I was just thinking that you're a professional analyst. I was just, keeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do I get back into this team, into this game, into this series? All right. Who am I playing? Top Blokes. I don't think they're being blokey enough. And when I look at Endpoint's roster and I see Metsonoris, I'm not sure if he's that much of a bloke. Like when you see Metsonoris, he's not blokey. He's just a really good guy. And I think that if he got some tattoos or something like that, it could put them back into this game. Because right now, the Top Blokes, they are the Top Blokes, Yummy. They're on top. You know what I'm saying?
So you want to try and out-bloke Top Blokes? Is that what you're really saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's going to be difficult. Again, Top Blokes do have, 2 Brits on that team. So going to be difficult. Maybe 3 if you count the coach as well, Rams. It is a very blokey team. I think you have to go a different strategy and maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what Finnish people do. In chat, does anybody know anything about Finland?
Is there anyone here from Finland? Because we'd love to know. And what do you guys do just on a day-to-day? What are your hobbies?
Sauna? I know they love sauna, That's,
the sauna.
That's the one thing. Yeah.
Well, maybe he needs a sauna.
Up really, here, it's getting a bit sweaty, so...
Exactly. I mean, well, if Metz can get in the sauna, it might just loosen him up a bit, and he might, the mechanics might just feel a bit fresher, and they might be a bit faster than the bowlers right now. You just see again. I mean, Archie just beating 2 plays to the ball. If they keep doing that, eventually there's not enough plays left. As an open net nearly gets scored there from Top Blokes.
I think you're also onto something a little bit in terms of the blokiness, because Relating Wave, I'm actually looking at him right now to be the one to step up. Vert isn't having much effect. He's not getting the chance to go forward. And normally we see Wave being that steady rock, especially as kind of an offensive duo with Virtuoso as well. He's normally one creating a bit of space for Vert, and then Vert will create space in return for everyone else. And at the moment, he's been really, really quiet, Relating Wave.
Yeah, I mean, there's not... you mentioned... You're trying to point out a specific member of Endpoint, but I haven't really seen any of them do too much. So if anyone can step up and be that top bloke, rise above this team and just step up here. I mean, it could be Relating Wave, the man, the myth, the legend.
See, this is why I'm calling out Relating Wave. You gotta, put your chips where you stand, CJ. You can't just be wishy-washy and believe in everybody. It's got to be one name, and it's Relating Wave. He's the self-proclaimed best player in the world, and he's starting to show why right there. Of course, he probably needs about another 20 goals in this series in order to show that, but, at least one is better than nothing.
I like you pointing out the individuals as well, Yummy. And as you say best, there is no I in team, but there's a me in team.
Yeah.
And right now, Relating Wave, he's taking that me and he's running with it. He's going for a bit of me time, as I like to call it.
He's been struggling in this game, but he's certainly had some big performances in the past. And again, we're looking back at RLCS. They did incredibly well in that first split. Ended off with a second place. And since then, have been very quiet. Even in the grid, they haven't made too many waves as such. And this is their chance. $50,000 tournament. Virtuoso gets that one. $50,000 tournament. You got to remember the first ever RLCS LAN was 55k. So this is actually a pretty big deal if you go back and put it in that context.
Yeah, and 2,000 years ago, 1 cent was a lot of money. I mean, that's a terrible, what are you saying, Yummy? Anyway,
I'm
just
old,
focus on
that's what I'm
Endpoint.
saying. I don't remember
Endpoint right
yesterday,
now.
but I remember 5 years ago.
We called for them to step up, Yummy. We called for something, and we've seen it right now. Endpoint, they're getting some challenges, and look at that midfield presence. That's what you want to look for, chat, right now, especially when, you know, you're watching a series and you're wondering who's getting on top in a game. Well, look for that midfield battle, because that's where the game is won and lost. Where you can get pressure and really, you know, put the opponent on the back foot and start boost-starving them. That's what we've got to see is Flame really squeezes that one in, but Endpoint turning it around, and there's an open net, and your boy has put it wide.
Oh, why did I believe in you, Wave? At any point in time, you've broken my trust, but you made up for it there. Nice pass into center, and Vert will be there. This is Vert's positioning to a T. He's gunning forward for this pass, and he finds that top angle.
Looking so much more confident now, Endpoint, and it might just be a case of you're 2 games down. You know, let's throw the kitchen sink at this one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just push forward, believe in each other, have a bit more trust in the rotation, and really just play a bit faster. And that's what we're seeing right now. You know, Top Blokes on the back foot for perhaps, you know, the first time this series.
Yeah, speaking of kitchen sinks, I think they're even a bit more dangerous in the UK. I think they have those kitchen sinks where you've got those terrible ones, right? Where you have one hot tap and one cold tap. And there's no possible way for you to get warm water. It's you either burn yourself or you can't do anything because cold water is just useless, right?
What can't you just turn on both?
Well, you can turn off, but no, but they're different, sorry, spouts for each one.
Oh, no way. They don't.
Well, it's old school, you know. Obviously the newer ones, much better, but I've seen them. Trust me.
So the last time you went over there in 1746, they had dual spout taps. Well, I reckon everyone in chat right now are going to be like, I'm from Europe and I have one spout. So
I've got
single
one
spouters in chat?
So I'm on the money. Johnny Boy's probably there shaking his head, and I'm okay with that, you know.
Johnny's definitely got 2 spouts. He's stuck in the past. He's ancient. He's
just call his like nostrils 2 spouts, you know. Oh no, Flame. That's a nice one, but it's a bit late here for Top Blokes.
Yeah, 19 seconds left. I mean, there's not many teams that are going to score 2 goals in 19 seconds, unless you're from Oceania, where anything can happen. But right now, Endpoint, they're looking to get their first win on the board this series, and really strong win as well. I mean, you know, we talk about, is a team playing bad or is, you know, the other team playing well? Right now, Endpoint have actually turned this around, and it's full, you know, to their credit. We did, you know, rag on them in the first 2 games, but they were playing bad. Right now, this is you know, this is good to see.
Yeah, if you go talk to any of the boys or the blokes on Endpoint, then they're going to be willing to say how badly they played in the first 2 games, especially I'd say that first one, where they kind of gave the game away. This time, you know, part of their aggression, a lot of their aggression has been more measured as well. When they've gotten into that attack, they've not overcommitted. They've left somebody back, usually Metanoris, and yeah, they get rewarded with that game win.
I mean, it is good to see because we didn't want to see a sweep, especially for Endpoint. You know, my guy, Metanoris, as we said, the crew battles are coming up later. I'm his teammate. If he's putting up a performance like we saw in the first 2 games, we may as well forfeit. But that was a much better performance from himself and Endpoint right there, getting a lot more pressure. But right now, chat, the more important thing we need to go back to is if we can get a Twitch poll up. For only you guys from Europe can vote for this. Are you a double spout tap connoisseur, or do you have a single tap at home? Because I haven't seen many 2 tappers.
I've seen so many, you know, like in the chat. Plexing Tricks, big shout out. He's got one in the bathroom, apparently, not in the kitchen. So maybe I was wrong on the location on that. But that's even worse if it's in the bathroom, right? You know, if you're there, you know, you've got to wash your hands. You're in the middle of winter, especially there, it gets really cold. You can't use the cold tap, but you can't really use the hot one either. What are you going to do? Run the tap, run each tap, have a bowl of water, and then wash your hands in that? That's weird and creepy.
And shout out to Gagsy in here, who's from Wales, and just says Wales, 2 taps. Probably the first person I've met from Wales, so welcome. And congratulations on owning 2 taps. I'm not sure if that's an advantage, as Yummy was alluding to earlier. Anyway, game number 4, Yummy. Here we are. Can Endpoint get back into it?
Well, I was going to
level it up.
mention that to you, since Wales is like the Tasmania of the UK. You know,
Okay, yep.
there's about 5
Here we go.
people who live there. They all know each other. Not a big population, so it is surprising to see someone from Wales in here, of course.
Yeah, well, congratulations from being that one of 5 people from Wales is, you know, it's a great achievement. And as someone from a small state, you know, we cop it, but we stick together as the brothers and sisters that we are, Yummy.
I also worry about you saying it's a state of, you know, don't put Wales too close to Britain. I'd say so. We're getting a little off track, but it's important when you've got so many Brits on the pitch.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, after all, the European bracket for the.
Oh, is it? I didn't realize. That's
for
awesome.
the Rocket League Summit 2. I mean, if you're here from North America, just shout out to you for just being a Rocket League fan in general. If you're here from Australia, go back to bed. What are you doing? Because this is way too early to be functioning. Anyway, with a minute 40 gone, Yummy, no goals happen here. Do you think that Endpoint perhaps got that win right now? Because I'm not quite seeing the pressure that we saw at the start of the last game from Endpoint on them. Just worried that you get that one win and then you sort of go a little bit more passive. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm also worried, they're just focusing right now on defense. They don't want to make those mistakes, but they are an offensive team. You know, they really focus on attack most of the rest of the time. It's not playing well into their game plan. But for now, it's going to be fine. The problem as well is if you are defending as Endpoint, then you have Archie ready to pop off at any point in time.
I mean, it is a factor, and just having that sort of pop-off potential on a player on your team is always huge, because it's in the back of your mind when you are playing them, you know. And especially when they're on the ball, you're probably thinking, could this guy hit a quadruple flip reset, 720, no-scope, ladder stall across the map? You know, it could happen at any time, and he could pull it out. But right now, we haven't seen it just yet. We saw a nice little flip reset double touch in game number 1. But Top Blokes is sort of turning it around from what I'm seeing so far, winning that crucial midfield battle that we talk about.
It's still Top Blokes finding a bit more pressure, and that was how they won game number 2. Just keeping Endpoint a lot more pinned. Endpoint pretty okay at the moment, just maintaining their boost levels, securing corner boosts quite often as well, though Archie does steal both the corner boosts there, so it's really up to Relating Wave in this play to get it out. Vert also no boost, so Endpoint at this point in Trouble Town. Metsonoris was the last member of Boost that they do secure the corners again. Endpoint probably going to be fine after that one, as long as they can keep this one out. No scope for him today.
Yeah, honestly, that was a rough bounce. I'm going to contact Sonics after this, because it goes straight down the other end. Virtuoso does put that away, and that is the beauty of Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen. You think you've got a team absolutely wrapped up, but Endpoint definitely didn't meet their end point there. Yummy.
I'm proud of you. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. You know, that's kind of more the like NA level pun, but we'll take it.
Okay. Yeah.
You brings it to mind. You're really growing up, CJ. I love it.
Yeah, don't know about North American puns. I don't know how much of a compliment that is. But big shout out to the NA people.
You know, dad jokes in a short time. You know, it's really a fine line. There's no difference in the level of funniness. They're both unfunny. It's kind of the point. It's there to make everyone go, what are you doing with your life? And let's face it, we're casting a kids' car game at 5 a.m. in the morning. I've already been questioning, what am I doing with my life for the last 30 minutes?
100% agree. It's like when James Bott makes a joke, like, you know, well done, mate. But, like, at the same time, you know, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need it.
Stop making jokes.
You know, I don't know. But this could be open. Hang on a minute. No, lovely little save. Yeah, just stop it. Stop it, James. Anyway, let's get back into this series, because, you know, once I start thinking about James, you know, my mind just goes into different places.
Okay, well, we'll leave that open to
No, we didn't mean like that. Let's move on. Let's not
chat. Let's not
leave it open to interpretation.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think there's too many interpretations.
I just mean I get sidetracked.
Okay.
That's all I meant.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, end with 1 point. Let's keep these jokes going. That exact same joke.
Yep. I just found a Christmas decoration under my desk. I don't even know if it's a Christmas decoration. I thought it was like a nut, but it's actually like a bauble, like one of those things you put on a necklace.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was from the weekend where you really dropped to the bauble and came second place. Didn't even win the grand final.
Anyway, if we could get any other caster in here with me. Anyway, what do we think this is that I've just found? It's not edible.
That's not a Christmas decoration. It's probably from your blinds, mate. Yep. Yeah, just to the right or left of that poster of you in your. Is that a little bit narcissistic to have a poster of yourself?
You listen here, all right? That's not about me. That's about the people that were at the RLCS Season 5 World Championships in London.
Good spin.
That's what it's all about. So if you were there, I'm sure there was a couple. There's got to be at least one person in Twitch right now that was at the World Championships. So what an event that was! Phenomenal.
What is it?
We've got a tied ball game, Yummy.
We've got a tied ball game. Yeah, right at the very start of the game. At least no kickoff goals. We like to see that. And the Endpoint have brought it back to a 2 apiece. So it's going to be interesting to see if that continues, where they can get the second one. It didn't feel like they controlled the last match whatsoever, but Relating Wave right off the start here will get this nice redirect, a 1-2-1 pass play.
Now, the only problem I'm seeing here right now, Yummy, is I think Endpoint believe it's a best of 5. They're going for the reverse sweep. Unfortunately, this is best of 7. So right now, this is phenomenal from Endpoint. The last 2 games and this one, starting it off just as we saw the last one. And there it is again. What is happening? Top Blokes, they've gone to sleep.
Yeah, well, it's not 4 a.m. for them, so they have to actually be a bit more awake for this one. Still reasonably early, or maybe actually not that early because it's a few hours into the tournament for them. So I don't even know what's going on with them. Wake up, Jeff.
Yep. So again, I'm just really sick of Yummy just delivering these Australian. I suppose, does everyone know the Wiggles? I guess everyone knows the Wiggles. We're getting sidetracked.
The Wiggles is very Australian, but surely, listen, I would be very upset if people didn't know the Wiggles. It's just plain un-Australian to not know the Wiggles.
Yeah, I wanted to be a Wiggle when I was younger. Unfortunately, I just now, watch cars go around a pitch in virtual reality.
Keep on wiggling, mate. It's Norris.
Another one.
As an open net, that's the 3rd for Endpoint. And what's happened to this? This is a complete flip of the script. But maybe not surprising given how back and forth these series have been in the past. They've never actually, against each other, had more than 2 series wins against each other in a row in their 12 matches that they've played across RLCS and the grid history.
It's a strange series though as well because it's not a close series in terms of the games. They're so one-sided either way. I mean, it's very strange. We saw the first 2 games, Top Blokes just absolutely dominating. The pressure was there, the speed. They were just, as I said, they were looking in they were just outclassing Endpoint really. But right now, Endpoint have completely turned it around. Virtuoso might be able to squish this one off the backboard. And, I mean, they are looking phenomenal there the last 2 games. They're going to take this one and move on to match point. And would you believe that after game number 2, or are they going to win it?
Did you just call the game with 3.5 minutes remaining?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's good to know. Maybe I'm worried about your team where they're looking for a comeback. But I see lots of fruit salad jokes in the chat, and yeah, this is a bit of a fruit salad of a series, to be honest. It's just a little bit choppy.
Yeah, it is a bit dicey, 100%. Look, I really think that I don't know what I think. So right now, though, I think there should be in Rocket League. Here's what I was going to say before you rudely cut me off.
No, I'll just say philosophy of
Here we go,
CJ.
chat. No, I'm going to talk to chat.
This is a quote. You want to know what I think? I don't know what to think.
Okay, you listen here. I'm going to talk to chat because we're friends and you're not my friend. Okay, here we go. What do you think, like, the total amount of goals in a game before it's, like, forfeit? You know what I mean? Like, do you get 4-goal lead, a 3-goal lead, a 5-goal lead? How many is enough? Because I think that Endpoint have locked this one up when they were 3-0 up. You know what I mean? Can we just GG go next, Leonard? What margin is that? Yummy, I'll ask you as well.
I think it's actually related to the time that's left. You know, if you got 3.5 minutes, you know, you're fine. But when you're kind of a bit more than halfway through and you're 10 goals down, you know, typical Johnny Boy sort of scoreline, then that's the time to hit that FF button.
Okay. Why'd you mention Johnny Boy? Is it because you don't believe in his ability?
Well, I'm trying to get on Smug 1v1. I want to try and have a better performance than Stumpy, you know, which is obviously pretty easy. Let's face it. It's hard to do worse than Stumpy. He was, man. He was. Let's talk a little bit about Stumpy too. Man, I can't believe that he let that goal in. You know, just he could have gone for the ball. He did everything right, and then Kaylee gets a free goal, and 3-0's it.
Was it a 3-0?
Yeah, you're 3-0'd by Kaylee. I think one of the games is like a 10-0 scoreline or something like that.
I reckon Stumpy went to bed that night and just went, like, thank God I'm a caster because I have no hope of being any good at any game ever.
Yeah. And he's been a grand champ before, maybe not in ones, but yeah, it's there's not much to talk about in this game, so I guess we keep going to Stumpy, you know. At least he's able to, you know, carry Cole on the casting desk, right?
That just shows the flaws in the Rocket League rank system, you know, when Stumpy is, you know, that sort of a skill level, but also, you know, grand champ. I mean, come on, what is going on? And open nets again being missed left, right, and centre from top blokes, and that is not what you want to see, considering they're about to be facing match point after such a promising start. I mean, was it just the fact that they were a little bit more warmed up, Yummy? Is that what it is? Or what it was?
I guess so. I mean, or that not necessarily they were more warmed up because that game one they didn't really have to do much. More that Endpoint were coming in like one of the two spouts of the UK bathroom. You know, so only the cold water on, and now Endpoint are hot. They've turned on the right tap, and we've got a rule one. Beautiful.
And that's what we want to see.
The least meaningful rule one of all time, and still. Oh, I don't know about that from Vert.
That's going to cost him coming into that's going to cost him coming into the next two games as well, because I'm a firm believer in karma, and I don't think they can win this series now based on that, because I don't really like the demo to break the rule one. I don't know how Twitch chat feels about this, but I think respect it. You know, respect the rule one. Don't come in and try and come third man in and help him out. Like, let's just let that happen. There was that time
that we rule one when we were on the same team, CJ. What are your thoughts on breaking that
Full respect.
Rule one?
You have to. No, don't break it. Full respect to sticking to the rule one, even if it's a self-team rule one. You can't break
Beautiful. Only we could do that, though. I don't think that's happening all the time. It's just that we're probably the worst teammates that could possibly ever come out of the pitch. Make top blokes look amazing in this game. But hey, CJ, what do you call a mid-series sweep? And this isn't a joke. This isn't like setting up a punchline. I actually, you know, we've talked about reverse sweeps. And you talk about, you know, just plain sweeps. But Endpoint are we're on the verge of 4 in a row.
Let's call it a... Nah, I literally, you know, like when you watch those cartoons and someone asks a question and like their brain's just like, you know, it goes into their brain. And it's just like an empty space clattering around, like just things just hitting the walls. Like that's me right now. You give me nothing, and it's really just a terrible question as well. Like who cares what a mid-series sweep is called at the end of the day? So if you can just like focus on just being a better co-caster, that'd be fantastic.
I'll try, but I've never looked to do that before, CJ. Just like you've never looked to make a top 2, you know, and make it to Worlds. Not at least in the last year and a half, right?
I don't know if you could see this behind me, but that's actually me at a world championship.
You talk about me living in the past, mate. You talk about me living in the past. Come on, that was the last time I was at
2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, you know, you're just a coach, and that's all you'll ever be.
Just a coach. So, even though I don't coach anyone, oh no, my life is over.
There you go. Anyway, we're back into it. This is Endpoint on match point. And ladies and gentlemen, I know we saw an upset earlier on with Dignitas 4-0ing BDS. But after watching the first two games, the fact that they're on match point right now is almost just as incredible as the first series of the day. This is phenomenal. A great turnaround from Endpoint. And what a showing of their resilience, Chummy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a big turnaround of the script, as he said. It's Endpoint were struggling, to say the least, at the beginning of that. Top Blokes haven't had that kind of Archie pop-off. He had that in game number 2, and maybe that's what was the difference maker just in that game. And he's been pretty quiet. We haven't heard much from the other two either. And, you know, kind of what we said about relating wave, we maybe just need to see Archie to come out and try and hard carry.
I mean, you're always looking to him, but there's just got to be so much pressure on those pop-off players. I mean, you know, as someone who's just a battler, you know, someone who just, you know, gets his 150 points a game, there's really no pressure on me performing.
Yeah.
But, you know, as, you know, your Archies, your Sickies, your Justins, your pop-off players, I mean, there has to be some pressure there thinking, I've got to do something here, because right now, they need something here, Top Blokes. They need him to step up, or just anyone.
Yeah, it is nice being that other player, you know, because, yeah, you get your 150 points, you say you've done enough, and when you lose, you can just be like, oh, it's not my fault, we just need to Sickie to do a lot more. So it makes it pretty relaxing to be those guys. But, you know, for Endpoint, I mean, for Top Blokes, I should say, they all have that pop-off potential, as we saw in the grand finals. I mean, Flame has had incredible performances in the past too. When he was the Blokes, I really considered him their kind of top dog, their playmaker, and you know, he's just kind of given a little bit of a backseat to Archie.
And there it is as well, Relating Wave opening it up here, game number 6. What a great start here coming out from Endpoint. Top Blokes right now, if I'm Top Blokes Yummy, my head is just spinning. I'm thinking, goodness, how's this happened? We're just 2-0 up. Now we're 3-2 down and about to lose game number 6. What has just happened? Where has it all gone wrong? Why is it not snowing in Australia in Christmas time? Because that's all I want.
Yeah, that would be nice, but it's going to be 34 degrees Celsius here today. So I don't think that there will be snow. And I'll tell you what, you know, we're in the middle of an important game, but my original idea for what I'd wear today was going to be like a bogan Santa. I was going to try and dye my beard white, and unfortunately getting white hair dye is really, really difficult in Sydney.
Oh, well, I completely missed the Christmas memo. Apparently it's Christmas soon. Metsonoris does get the second goal of game number 6 here with 2 minutes on the clock as well. Mets is not worried about Christmas. He's worried about pocketing 50k cash cold hard by winning this Rocket League Summit 2.
Well, cold hard in Finland, they're like five meters deep in snow at this point in time. He can't even leave the house. Don't worry about self-isolation. He literally just can't get out. Somebody actually send him something. Just dig it out, please. He's stuck there playing Rocket League the entire time.
Give him a care package, please. Can we, you know, send some support to him? But here we go. Cassio's up in the air. That could be a shot blocked by Relating Wave. Flame does come in to try and keep pressure on, and Archie flies. Probably just out of desperation more than anything, because they are a couple goals down here. And with a minute 40 left, it's definitely playing on your mind now that time is a factor.
Time is really running out here for Top Blokes. But most importantly, they haven't had that midfield control, that pressure. They haven't pinned in Endpoint at all since that that second game where they took some hard control of this. Endpoint are just going to be chilling. They've shown that they have, when they want to play defense, they have plenty of chances to keep that out. They keep the goals away. Top Blokes really haven't been scoring too much in the past few games.
It just feels like it's going to take something special here from Top Blokes to score. I mean, you said it perfectly, as a bang comes in from Archie, the guy that we always look to in times of trouble for Top Blokes. And there it is. What an absolute slinger there. Great pass from Cassio as well, it has to be said.
Something special. Like Santa coming down your chimney. Archie just delivered a goal for Top Blokes. Awesome start. And they've still got a minute. I'm hopeful, CJ.
I'm absolutely hopeful because this man is popping off. It was a lovely little defensive backboard read there from Virtuoso, but Archie is looking more and more dangerous here. But with a minute left, he's really going to have to be, because there is no second chance. Well, there is a second chance. There's no second chance in this series right now. There's no second chance in this series right now for Top Blokes.
Yeah, no second chances except in the lower bracket. You do have a guild there who took Vitality to Game 7 and have been doing quite well, at least in the grid. So you definitely don't want to be down there against them at this point in time. And yeah, this win as well will get you through to playoffs regardless. And it looks like Endpoint looking to secure it. They've got Archie on the run. Virtuoso's coming in like the Jaws theme song. You don't want to worry about that demo, but Archie did manage to keep it away. 10 seconds left on the clock. Endpoint, they just need to hold on for a little bit longer, and that's a big clear to make sure that Top Blokes can't score a shot. It is even just sinking towards their net. Archie had to make a save there, where there wasn't even a shot on, and Endpoint will take the game. They go through to the playoffs, and they go through to that upper bracket final.
Huge performance from Endpoint there, and I honestly can't really believe it, the way that they've turned that whole series around after the first 2 games, and just in the last 10 seconds there, Yummy, that was phenomenal to see Top Blokes almost score on themselves. They actually made less ground by having the ball. I don't think Endpoint touched the ball there after 0 seconds, but it still nearly went in their net.
I mean, if you be inside the opponent's heads that much that you don't even need to touch the ball, then really shows how strong you're being. Endpoint really stepping up in this series, having a 4-0 sweep after those first 2 games, mid-series sweep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, listen, we're going to break down this game a little bit more after a quick break. So stay tuned, get a little cup of coffee, whatever it is that you guys drink in the evening as well. I'm drinking coffee, but yeah, let's stand by and we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to Rocket League Summit 2 EU Day. Group stage is over. I've got to say, first of all, a massive thank you to Duke GG for sponsoring this event. They are the new home for Rocket League scores, news, streams, and more. And also, of course, to Monster Energy. I've got my own personal favorite right here. They're keeping us fueled up throughout the day, but Yummy and CJ, you guys need that more than anybody. It's like, very, very, it's like 0 o'clock in the morning over there for you guys. But if there was anything you needed to wake you up, it would have been that series that you just saw.
Yeah, my friend back there has some quality refreshments to keep me going throughout the day, so we should be fine.
How long did it take you to think of that? That is absolutely awful.
I mean, salted.
I was expecting nothing less. I'm going to be honest, but it still surprises me at the same time. But let's talk a little bit about this series. Another surprise result, and that's been the story for EU with the Rocket League Summit 2. I didn't see this coming. I'm just getting all my predictions wrong today. But what were the keys to victory here, Yummy, for Endpoint?
They just say they were so much more controlled. Once they looked for that midfield, they weren't pushing up too hard. You kind of see that the fact that they have this kind of latent attack, the one that they're always so aggressive normally, that they are still able to find goals where it's needed without pushing too hard.
Now, CJ, obviously, long time and current pro player over there in EU. When you're watching this EU Rocket League, what are your thoughts? Are you just thinking? Are you spotting all the weaknesses? Are you worried about what you're seeing here? I mean, this is obviously casting for you, but also you're doing your homework.
Oh, not worried at all, Johnny. This is bottom tier Rocket League as far as I'm concerned. No, but look, honestly, there was... we spoke about it during the series, Johnny. I mean, just the way that this game swung. I mean, we talk about close series, but this was like so not close in terms of individual games. I mean, just it kept swinging. We had the first 2 games, Top Blokes just came out of the gate just absolutely firing. And then Endpoint completely turned it around. I mean, in the first 2 games, it literally looked like Endpoint had a magnet attached to their car connected to their goal, and they just couldn't get out. They were just stuck, like, help me. And then after that, they just found their way to move up the field and, control that midfield and just speed it up a bit. And that was the difference.
Well, with that win, Endpoint joined Vitality as the group winners for today, so they'll be playing tomorrow. The rest of the group matches will be happening tomorrow. for EU. We've got the double elimination group format. So that is it for the group content for today. But we're just getting started over here with the Rocket League Summit 2. Join us after the break for the start of the crew battles segment of the stream. You're not going to want to miss it.